Hello, Jacoby's Book Club. Let's continue with Ice Cube's Attitude, the biography of Ice Cube's life by UK author Joel McRiver. So what I left off was Dr. Dre had a producer. Dr. Dre had asked Easy E to lend him some money to bail somebody out, and Easy was like, "Listen, if I lend you this money to bail the motherfucker out, you gotta record for me. You gotta do some records for my artists, produce some of my artists." Dr. Dre was like, "All right, let's continue." Although Dre had agreed to work with Easy out of curiosity, he soon found his new role as a producer at the ex dealer's newly christened label, highly enjoyable one. Easy gave Dre the near total automonty, allowing him to sketch the skills which he had honed over so many nights at the Eve's After Dark Club. That's the club that he used to DJ at. Found a band to produce to take some time. But eventually Dre unearthed a new band, HBO from New York, whose demo impressed Easy enough to offer them a deal. The rap outfit from the East, whose name supposedly stood for Homeboys Only, looked like a competitive bunch. But none of them were songwriters, and it became apparent that a song would need to be written for them, which Dre would produce. Neither E nor Dre had much talent as a songwriter at this stage. The former was a businessman. He should have put the former dealer was a businessman learning to rap, while the latter was at his best at the mixing desk, or on the docks. And for a moment, it seemed that a deal with HBO might not come to pass. Enter Ice Cube. Dre had the idea of asking the young CIA rapper to pen a song for the New York band, and Cube was more than willing to give it a try. Sequencing themselves in a studio for a couple of days, Ice and Dre put together a song called For Tragically, as it turned out, Boys in the Hood. A verse tale of gangland violence and homicide flowing over a typical hardcore Dre beat. Confident that the record would make HBO a name to conquer with, Easy summoned them to the studio, hand over copies of the lyrics to the rappers ready to record. But all was not well. The Big Apple musicians read Ice Cube's uncompromising lyrics and the obvious uncredited and immediately dismissed the song as West Coast shit and too West Coast sounding for them. Before Fontaine refusing to record it, Dre and Easy were surprised as was Q when the news was passed on to him, but HBO could not be persuaded to change their opinions and leave for New York. Shortly afterwards, this left Easy with a problem. Recording time in the studio had been booked and still unstable. Rufus' label would not be able to handle an immediate loss without serious. It's pause, because that's fucking weird. And putlets for its future. So pause. That sound keep happening. I don't know what the fuck. Is this my speaker? I don't know. But it was Drake, always a lethal thinker, who came up with a solution. Just as he had when he picked Ice Cube to write the lyrics at a short notice. This time, he simply suggested that Easy record Boys in the Hood himself. Although this sounded like a great idea on paper, why not ask a genuine boy from the hood to rap the song of the same name? It was less so in practice, simply because Easy had never rapped before. Pause. So the New York rappers, HBO, the New York rap group HBO was like, listen, this is some West Coast shit. On East Coast, they rap about. See, back then on the East Coast in the 80s, I don't know a lot of East Coast rap songs from the 80s. I know a lot of rap songs, East Coast, West Coast from the 90s. I don't know. They was rapping stupid shit. Probably just like rap battles. And they was like, listen, this shit is too West Coast for us. No. So Dr. Dre was like, damn, Easy, you can rap this. Now, I think it was a smart idea because that Drake thought that Easy E could rap it because Easy E is from the hood and he was a drug dealer. So, like he said, he seen the girl get choked up and her eyes get cut out and her legs and shit. Dre in his mind was like, listen, this nigga has lived and been through this hood shit and know what happened in the hood with these niggas. That was a smart idea. Dr. Dre's a smart nigga, even though his brain doesn't know me stuff. But the problem is, as they were, Easy ain't never rapped before. Again, he was a dope dealer. The nigga didn't know nothing about no damn rapper. Even his name was a fairly recent innovation for the Compton Street Kid turned record company chief. In the end, however, Dre and Cube managed to persuade him to take the plunge, and the trio entered the studio as scheduled. Cube later recalled with some amusement that it took forever to do their record. Nigga was in the studio for days trying to do some lyrics. Pause again. He ain't never rapped before, so it was gonna take him a while because the nigga ain't never rapped. Now Ice Cube, he's rapped, and Dr. Dre, they rapped before that moment, so that probably would have took them 2, 3, 4 hours tops. But Easy E, no. New to the game, Easy was, however, new to the game as Easy was. However, the results were all aspiring. Easy had hit upon a drooling, almost ranting style with his high-pitched tenor voice, which gave Cube's cruel tale of a murderous daily routine in the ghetto a strangely convincing atmosphere, and the trio knew that they had something special on their hands. Sorry. It was now. Alright, I'm sorry. It was now Easy's job. It was now Easy's job to finance the Frankenstein monster that he and his cohorts had brought to life. A deal was struck with the small Mark Kohler label, which agreed to manufacturing 10,000 12-inch singles of Boys in the Hood in its tiny DIY pressing plant for the sum of $4,900, $7,000 in 2002. That's probably like $30,000 today. Pause. 12 inches, which I found out is how they used to sell singles back in the day. Again, they had the radio, but they didn't have iTunes or YouTube. So nowadays, I mean, people still sell albums and shit. I don't know why, because you can just go stream the album on YouTube or Spotify or Apple Music. I found out. I was thinking about that a couple weeks ago. I'm like, why do people still fucking sell albums? Why do they still print and do all this shit for albums when the motherfuckers can just drop it on a streaming thing? Initially, Easy, Dre, and Q sold copies of single from the boot of a car on the streets of South Central. But it's reported that Monaco later offered to distribute the record officially, although the details of the record's early history are now scattered. Why does it matter? The record, well, it does matter how the record came out. It's fucking 5 o'clock. How we doing on time? All right. The single sold fairly rapidly, and a neighborhood buzz began to grow around Easy's cut and his new label, attaching the attention of the other rap crews in the district. The success of Boys tied in with the growing atmosphere of discontent in Dr. Dre's own band. The world-class Wrecking Crew, his co-producer in the band Yellow, had liked Dre and began to feel some irritation at the business practices of Williams, Lonzo, the scamming ass nigga. Eazy-E later told Brian Cross what exactly happened between him and the crew. Me and Dre were buddies from way back. We used to DJ and shit. Yella and Dre and Williams were in the wrecking crew, but they weren't doing all this work. And he used to give them like peanuts. Dre had a fucked up car. He gave him like $25. Seven. He gave him like $25, 17 a week. Easy also revealed that Williams had taken on the management of CIA. He used to give Cube and Jinx $25. That's a week between them from watching him fuck everybody over. I learned that what you do is you take care of people and they'll be cool to you. Not all people that you take care of, they start acting funny and shit. Given the bad vibes in the WCW camp, it didn't take much persuading to get Dre to agree to another collaboration with Easy and Cube. This time, with Yellow watching with interest from the wings. As he later put it, me and Dre was getting tired of the wrecking crew because the money situation wasn't right. We was always broke. The success of his first single had promoted Easy to request more lyrics from Ice Cube, who had came up with 2 songs, 8 Ball, and insane homage to the brain-shedding effects of Oldie English, 800-meter beer, and a dope man. A much more insightful description of the lifestyle and an inedible fate of a neighborhood crack dealer. Rehearsals were put in place. Rufus is tongue twister. Rufus arranged for a studio time to be booked, and Cube's lyrics were committed to memory by Easy, who would share rapping dudes on 2 tracks with Cube himself. We were all committed to our own groups, explained Ice Cube later. So we figured we'd make an all-star group and just do dirty records on the side. As sessions progressed, the idea of a full-fledged rap supergroup took shape in the trio's minds. The 2 other rappers, friends of Cube and Dre, went by the names of the Arabian Prince and the DOC, were also in line to be recruited, as well as Yalla. But before the lineup could be compared, there was one small matter to be decided: a name for the band. Ice Cube remembers the exact moment when he first heard the name of the band that would go on to shape the music world to its own foundation. He was waiting outside his house with Dre and Easy to appear and take him to the rehearsal studio. Speaking to Vibe magazine in 1998, he recalled, one day Dre and Easy picked me up in a van and they was like, what we gonna call the group? I was like, what? And they said, niggas with attitude. A slow smile across Cube's features with a shrug. He concluded, sounds like a point. I think N.W.A. niggas with attitude was the perfect name for them. I mean, they could have called themselves something else and all this stuff. Listen, I love talking to y'all, but look, if you have not already done so, make sure you like, view, and subscribe. Thank you.